Jamai apa maurulqa anam kun Atkiq Michelle Ilutsik-Snyder apa anam kun George Ilutsik luqaqamiungulluuq anaka aqnaqastru Ilutsik alaqnaqaqamiungulluuq ataqa angun David Snyder Connecticut Wika qamulqa Marcus Coons mamtaqillaqamiungulluuq panika aqnasu winga atgiuqo hadusauqo balinauqoallu alaqnaqiqmijoqiqmillu anglillruunga taqwam matamnallini kujaaqmiungunga qasatunllu Michelle Ilutsik-Snyder aqunga Jamai, I'm Atkiq Michelle Ilutsik-Snyder. Grew up in Alaqnaqiq, also in Jurong in Dillingham. We lived in Dillingham till I was 3, moved to Alaqnaqiq, lived there until I was in 2nd grade, moved back. My mom is Aqnaqastr Ilutsik of Alaqnaqiq, and then my late grandparents on my mom's side were George and Lena Paul Ilutsik from Alaqnaqiq and originally from Old Togyak and from Quluqaq. And I currently live in Anchorage, go back home to Ecock to fish for the summer, and then still love to spend time too in Alaqnaqiq. So currently I work for Igiagik Village Council, and I work as a regional career counselor under their different language grants. So right now we're partnered with the Bristol Bay Foundation under their Teaching Culture Honoring Heritage grant. Prior to that, we were doing Iliamna communities teaching culture through native language. I've been with them now for about 4 years. Prior to that, I was with BBNC as the First Culture Camp project director for BBNC for the Bristol Bay region. And prior to that, I was a teacher, so come from that education background, really, passionate about teaching, working with our youth, and really passionate about our languages, our Yuhtun language. I've been trying to learn Yuhtun, seems like forever, grew up hearing it. And then the past 10 years have been really inspired to wanting to learn and really realizing, how fragile our languages is that I think a lot of people don't really realize. They think our languages will always be there. But if we look and see who are speaking, are our youth speaking? Are our younger people speaking? If they're not, then in 50 years, what is our language going to look like? Is it going to be used? Is it going to be remembered? Is it going to be taught? Do we want it to be a language of power and use? Do we want to see our languages? Do we want to hear our original stories in our language, our history in our language, our song and dance, all of that? All of our culture really is intertwined with our language, and our language reflects our cultural values, our way of being, and really reflects a different way of seeing the world. So that's why I'm so passionate about trying to bring back our languages. So for Yuut, I first was exposed to Yuut as a young girl, which I'm so grateful for. I'm so grateful that my mom, provided me with the opportunities to learn Yuut. And I think one of the earliest moments that I kind of remember was being, a kindergartner, a first grader at Alaqnaqiq school, and Truna McIntyre came in and taught us all the dances that I still know today. He taught us an agurak dance, yuriyama, an entrance dance, alai, all these little dances. A chikangatak dance, a butterfly dance, I'm actually relearning, looking at those old videos from when he went to Alaqnaqiq school back in the 90s. So I'm so fortunate to have grown up around Yuut to the point where it comes pretty easily, a lot of the songs and the dances, and it just, it's something that really feel like connects me to our culture, to our way of life. and to the universe and our ancestors as well. Yeah, I just really remember gathering, and I don't know why I'm really thinking about picking stochaks. That's a really vivid memory for me, is every spring going out and picking stochaks and making stochaka gudak and going up, in the, because we grew up on the island there at Aleknagik, and going up on that hillside of the island and gathering stochaks there, and just playing in the woods even back there too. And then of course our wonderful natural resources, our lakes, spending time on the water, fishing, doing damona and getting our spawned out reds, and going and going boating to go get berries and all of that. Yeah. Oh, just that we love our home. And we have everything there. We have everything that God provide us with, Gayun, for sustaining ourselves, our fish, our waters, our plants, our berries, our wild game. And then really want to emphasize too, that our place names, it's important to remember those place names and remember them correctly, right? What we used to call our different places and why, and the stories behind those names, and bringing back our original place names and normalizing how to pronounce our original place names. So I would like to say Alaknakik to really kind of put emphasis and remember our original ways of calling different things. And really too, I mean, I work with language, and that's one of my big passions, but bringing our language back on the land and to our places, I think, is important. So Alaknakik, Alaqnaqiq.
Very
Yeah, Alaknakik.
inspiring. Thank you again
Yeah.
so much for your time. And I guess, is there anything else you want to add or touch on that I may have missed?
Well, I was just thinking too, with the spelling of Alaknakik, BBNC has their place names project. So if you go on their website, I forget what Bristol Bay place names, I can't remember what it is, but they've put together and compiled place names and correct original or correct spelling, um, for all our places in Bristol Bay. So that's a good resource to look. And it even has, outside of village names, it'll even have different places, and it will have audio, how to say those places, and then also if there's any stories or information. So that's another good resource. Yeah.
Okay.
Goyana.